you guys enjoy that little intro? I did. Despite my experiment failing, I persevered, and now I am basically sculpting what will soon be an alien strawberry. This is inspired by a collection I've already actually made, and now we're bringing it to life. Bigger and better, and way more exciting. Now, I am by no means new to sculpting, but what I am new to is ceramics. And this made me feel like I was completely just starting all over again, and maybe that's because I was scared, because I didn't want it to explode, but I later found out that they only explode in the kiln if they're wet. So my fear was causing me to be a bit nervous, but now we know for next time that that will not happen. And it's okay. And I left it to dry for a week to make sure it wouldn't explode because of that fear. And yeah, they told me to make it hollow on the inside, and despite me making it hollow, I actually made the walls very thick. And this will be a continuing thing, is I will make loads of mistakes, but it is my first time, so bear with me. Bear with me. The next fruit I'll make after this one, just you wait. I already have my plans. No spoilers, but I already know. And oh, I'm getting excited talking about it. Anyway, so the walls were very thick. This was a hefty, heavy fruit. If I was to actually make more of these, maybe put them out, sell them, yeah, I'd make the walls thinner just because they are chunky right now. And I spent ages tapping on this thing, smoothing it out. I wanted it to be perfect, no creases, because obviously when you're making something simple, it's gonna be very obvious when there's something even a little bit of a crack, of a dent. So yeah, here I am, trying to even it all out. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I did have to just Google what this was called. I started scoring the ends, and this helps join them together. And I actually knew this beforehand, but I always called it etching. You know, I'm a painter, I'm a drawer. I do sculpting, but I don't know all the terminology, so I just apply what I know. But yeah, I started scoring both sides, and using some slip, which is basically just some diluted down clay. And using a wet paintbrush, I covered all the edges to smoothen it out. And looking back at this now, I probably should have used a tool to push the edges down a bit because it wasn't very stable. I did check a few times, it was wobbling a bit. I'm shocked that it survived. It hasn't fallen off to this day, you know. My alien fruit is right next to me. It's on it. It's on it. I'm not gonna take that for granted. I'm grateful. Thank you. But for next time, again, we know. And I start sculpting the leaf, which I should have just searched up a strawberry leaf for, because I've had a few comments already saying that it looks like a pepper because of the leaves. Not my intention, but you know what? It's up for interpretation. If that's the way you want to interpret it, it can be a pepper for you. But it was always a strawberry in my heart. It was always a strawberry. And now it was time to add the spikes, which is this fruit's individual trait. So each fruit that I had planned out has its own unique thing going on. The only one that's really similar to the strawberry is the cherry. Will I change that? Maybe. Still need to have a think about it, but I do still like both of them being spiky. And yeah, that's their whole kind of shtick, you know? They are spiky, they're funky, they're cool, they're bright, and the other fruits have their own thing, which you'll have to see. Overall, did I enjoy putting on the spikes? I don't want to sound like I hate the process. I genuinely do like sculpting. But when you spend so long on one task, you really get tired of it. I'm someone who likes moving on constantly. I like constantly changing, doing something else. I don't like sticking to one thing. And this very much took a while. I think these spikes by themselves must have taken me, I'd say, over an hour. I can't remember the exact time because I wasn't recording the whole exact time. Nonetheless, I am an impatient person, so I hope at least you can enjoy watching me put those spikes together. After using the heat gun, I was trying to avoid the tips of the spikes as much as possible because I knew they would be the first to dry, but they were turning white and I knew that was a sign to go on with a damp sponge, and I was kicked out for lunch. After I returned from lunch, I carried on doing that and making the spikes. Some of them were getting harder and I knew it was a sign for me to also hurry up, and that is what I started doing. I started trying to make them a bit quicker, and also because I was getting tired of it. Luckily none of the spikes have flaked off at this point because the damp sponge did help a lot. So on the beginning of day 2, I had already put away my strawberry for it to start drying for a week. To be fair, I think it wasn't too crazy. Apparently it's recommended even, is what my teacher said. Correct me if I'm wrong. I only know what I'm told by my teachers, so anything I say in this video that might be misleading, yeah, you can always let me know, and then I'll correct it in future videos. And yeah, so I started making a glaze, and if you remember from my intro, I actually failed making my glaze. It stuck to the kiln, it was too watery, some of it even burnt, but that's where I learnt, and I made a new one. Way better and brighter, and I didn't show it in the video because I want it to be a bit of a surprise. I mean, I know you'll probably see it in the thumbnail, but let me have fun. Let me have fun. So here I was making this glaze, and I was using as an inspiration someone else's recipe, and to be honest, the base was mostly the same as theirs. It was the same 2 ingredients, but I just changed out the colorant because I saw their glaze was really bright, and I was like, oh, I want to try that. I believe it was another student's glaze? Not too sure. We have a lot of glazes laying about. But yeah, so I packaged it and it was all good to go, and that was the end of the day. Now, if you're wondering why am I making glazes again, well, this day I was just finishing off whatever I couldn't finish before, adding colorants to it, putting it through the sieve to make sure there was no chunky bits, basically just finishing off whatever I couldn't before. And yeah, this is me pushing it through with a brush to get it all fine and ready for painting. Okay, now you're like, you've said you finished twice and we're seeing you for the 3rd time making glazes. Correct. And now I'm not lying to you. I keep thinking that I'm about to be finished and it just keeps going. Over here, what I forgot I did is I actually increased the amount of glaze I made because I wanted to be sure that I had enough to cover the strawberry, and if I ever needed extra, I could always have extra. So that's what I was doing here, and I was very stupidly over here just pouring it in like this, and there's powder everywhere, and the booth wasn't even on, so I'm breathing all of it in, and I'm taking it out with my finger. Don't do what I'm doing. Don't use me as an example. Anyway, so then, more smartly, we turn on the booth and we start using an actual scoop to pour it in, and you can see a bit more clearly here how I'm measuring out the components on a little scale, and you have to be very precise with it, otherwise it can throw off the mixture of your glaze completely and give you some result that you weren't expecting. So, for this time, I am finally finishing it off. day 5 and I could finally start painting it. Bear in mind, these were not 5 days consecutively in a row. This is over a span of 2 to 3 weeks, and I was only on the 5th day, which is fine. I got my own business, but I was excited, and the color was something I was definitely nervous about, and also the application. I was worried, although I tested the glaze, that it would like leak down or something and cause this strawberry that I've worked on for a few hours now to get stuck to the kiln. This is why this was meant to be a test, but it turned out into quite a long project which I was dedicated to doing. So I was applying it with a brush. I did know that I could dunk it into the glaze, but I didn't want to make so much glaze, considering I was using the school equipment to make the glazes and the ingredients. So in the future, when I'm buying my own components for it, now that I know that I really do enjoy this process, I'll buy my own components, powders, whatever not, and try dunking it in next time just for a smoother application. Otherwise it can be a bit uneven. And yeah, so right now it's a pale pink, but obviously with my predictions, it will be a bright red, which I was really excited for. I've seen pictures of cool effects of glazes, how they would interact with each other and create blends or disperse into it, and I kind of wanted that to happen. Right now it felt like my strawberry was a bit bland and empty between these spikes, and for future I probably will just add more spikes or use a crystallizing glaze, which are more difficult to make, so that will be its own thing in the future. But I definitely know now that I want more spikes, but I had the idea to start creating a little bit of an ombre. If I put a little bit of that red/pink onto the spikes, maybe it would blend into it a little bit. This was my same thought process for what you will see in a second when I start adding the yellow dots over top. I was hoping maybe it would blend into it and create some kind of special effect, but obviously there's specific glazes that do that, and so I had mixed feelings about it. It wasn't per se bad, but I'll let you see how it turned out yourself.
Singing tales of hope, tales of love, no instruments, sharp voices alone. Together we create a world of our own.
And now, once these were done, all that was left was to put it to fire overnight and see what results we would get. I personally went for 1060 degrees just to get a bright color, and I got a clip of someone actually complimenting my strawberry by accident. After taking it home, I was ready to show you guys the result. What do you guys think? For my first ceramic piece, I'm really happy with it, and I'm really excited to make more. This is definitely something I want to keep doing on my channel. Maybe I found a new passion, guys. So here I'll just show you a few close-ups.